Today we are going to start making the beads for our rainbow necklace, and we are using Model Magic clay. We're going to start off with the first color in the rainbow, which is red, and I'm just going to take that clay and squish it together, and then I'm going to roll it in between the flat parts of my palm. So if I use that middle part of my palm to roll that clay, I'll get a really beautiful sphere. And then I'm just gonna set that one aside. And now I'm ready for the next color in the rainbow, which is orange. And to create orange, I need a little bit of red and a little bit of yellow. And I'm just gonna mix those colors. So I'm folding and pulling and mixing those colors together. And you have a choice to make. If you want your bead to be kind of swirled, where you can see some orange and some red and some yellow, you can stop mixing when it gets to like this point. Or if you want your beads to be completely mixed together, just keep going for a little bit longer, and then you will get that beautiful orange color. And once you're finished mixing that color, you're gonna do the same thing you did before. You're gonna put that clay, roll it in between the flat parts of your palm, and then set it aside. I like to keep them in order so that when it's time for me to create beads by putting them onto the stick, I'll know what order to put them in. So I'm just gonna keep them lined up. For the rest of the colors, I'm gonna go ahead and speed up the video so that you can see how I mix those colors together, but it'll go by fast so that we have more time to actually make art. So I have all of my different colors rolled into spheres, and I'm ready to start making them into beads by putting them onto the skewer. I'm gonna start with the first color in the rainbow, which is red. And when I'm poking my sphere onto my skewer, what I wanna do, let me see if I can show it to you, is put my fingers on either side of where the skewer is going to poke out. And then that's gonna be an easy way to push it onto that wooden stick without it like flattening out, right? We want to keep it kind of round so we don't lose the shape. I'm going to push that first color all the way down to the flat end. And right now it kind of looks like a volcano. It's got sort of a point at the top. I want to flatten it into a donut. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of flattening on the top and the bottom so that it looks like a donut. You don't wanna flatten it so much that it looks like a pancake, right? You don't want it to be super flat like that. If you flatten it too much, you can just take it off of the skewer and then re-roll it into a sphere and try again. Now I'm ready to add the next color of the rainbow onto my skewer. So I'm gonna hold the bottom so this red one doesn't fall off. And then I'm gonna take the next color, which is orange. I'm gonna do that same thing again, where I kind of poke it a little bit, and then I put my fingers on either side of that point and push it down. And then this time, as I'm pushing it down, I want to keep about a finger width in between each of my beads. I don't want my beads to get stuck together. So I'm going to make sure I leave a little bit of space and then flatten that volcano into a donut. And I would just repeat that process with all of the other beads. And I'll show you in a sped up video what that's gonna look like. Now that I have all of my beads onto the skewer, there are two things that I need to check for. The first thing I need to check for is I need to make sure that none of my beads are touching each other. So all of these beads are separate, but the orange and the red are stuck together. So I'm just gonna pull them apart and separate them, just like that. If you don't separate them now, they're gonna dry connected and it's gonna be a lot harder to separate them once they're dry. The next thing I need to do is I need to just kind of wiggle each of the beads and make sure that they're loose. We don't want the clay to be stuck to the wooden skewer. We want it to all be loose so that when it's time to take them off and turn them into a necklace, we will be able to pull them off of that skewer easily. When you're done checking it, you're going to carry your beads with both hands. You want to pinch it at one side so they don't fall off, pinch it at this side so they don't fall off, and you need to carry it flat. If you angle it when you're carrying it, those beads could slide and get stuck together again. So carry it flat with two hands and then you can turn them in so that they can dry.